50 plus population will inherit an estimated $17 trillion over the next 20 years. That is a return on investment for the products and services that you are delivering. But the problem that we have, and I've been in the field for over 25 years, and it's just starting to turn, is this concept that people think that those that are over the age of 50 are one homogeneous group, that they just are all the same, that close to 117 million people who spend almost $2.4 trillion are all the same. It's like we have a sample of one and everyone is that way. Obviously not correct, right? So you have to segment. You have to think of them not in one bucket, but in many buckets. I'm going to showcase for you now some of the different ways that over the last 25 years, I have seen people market and position products and services for mature adults. Some of the lenses. The first lens is the chronological lens. We're all familiar with that, right? I'm going to market a product or service to someone that is 70 because they're 70, or 50 because I think I know what a 50-year-old looks, feels, acts like, or 80, or 90, or 60. I'm going to take that age that they are, and I'm going to say, I think, because I have a sample of one, which is my mother or spouse or whomever, I think that that person is going to be just like my mom. So I'm going to deliver my services to that person because based simply on what my mom is like or what my father is like. You cannot do that. You cannot look at every... Do any of you know a 50-year-old that acts 80 and an 80-year-old that acts 50, right? So why would anybody just strictly look at someone's chronological age when they're thinking about direct marketing pieces, retail environment, sales techniques? You can't just think about this, but it is one of the lenses. Another lens is the event lens. If you look up there, I bet you there is some event that you see that you feel a part of. Whether it was when JFK died, whether it was, when McDonald's came out. By the way, does anyone know when Seinfeld started? What year was that? 1990. 1990. Very close. But don't you feel some kind of special feeling about something that you see up there? Well, we all do. But you and I are not feeling the same thing, right? What are you feeling? Howdy doody. I am not feeling howdy doody. But with that being said, so again, we cannot group people based on, that person lived through the Depression era. Or, that person, likes the Beatles. Or that person was, Woodstock. That means that everyone that comes in that looks and feels like them is exactly like that, and that's going to be the event. No, but it is an interesting way to look at things. And one of the things that you have to put in your formula, right? So with chronological age, event-driven marketing. The wellness lens. I find it very interesting when I think about the wellness lens, that a lot of times what we do is we look at a person using a walker. You look at a person that has a different kind of gait, and we have an immediate assumption of what their capabilities are or are not. But we cannot do that. And that's one of the things, if you take nothing else from this, you cannot make an assumption looking at me, as we never should. You cannot profile a person. And in the industry of health and wellness, you can't just look at somebody that comes through the door and determine that, they're not going to be able to do that push-up, or they're not going to be able to do step class, or they're not going to be able to do something else. You have to get to know that person. It may just be a flare-up of arthritis that they're going through, and consequently, they're here to get your help to help them understand how they can have less inflammation. But when the inflammation's gone, they might be ready to go out and run a marathon with you. So we have to be careful about the wellness lens and getting too attached to the perceptions, images, and attitudes around that lens. But, again, an important part of the formula, the chronological, the event, and the wellness. How do they look to you? How do they look like they feel to you? But don't betray them by not asking them the question. How do you feel? What did you do 2 years ago that you can't do today, but you want to do 2 years from now? These are important questions. Get to know the person like you would any other client. And then, of course, the generational lens, which we're all very familiar with. So yeah, a lot of people had sex between 46 and 64, and a lot of people were born, and congratulations, somebody came up with the brilliant idea to call them baby boomers. But does that mean that all baby boomers are exactly the same because their parents decided to have sex at that, or whomever had sex to make them? You know, in the industry, in the gerontology industry, in the aging industry, we have this thing, we go back and forth. Do you capitalize baby boomers or not? You capitalize baby boomers, people, because it's the name of a group of people. But it is not every single person in there has the exact same. You read these research reports and they describe baby boomers like they're all living in Peoria and doing the same thing and eating the same food and talking to the same people. You cannot do that. You cannot position your marketing, your advertising, your sales, your products, your services, because someone decided that that cohort had these exact ideas and areas under them, specific areas and characteristics. So although you can make that a part of what you think about, because someone says there's a baby boomer, they're a baby boomer, don't go Google it and try to find out, well, what exactly is a baby boomer and how do I apply that? Remember the other lenses that have to be.